Hey Mojoholics, welcome to WatchMojo.FAQ episode 20 and our last show before the holiday break. Welcome, Ash.
Hey guys, how are you?
So this week we passed 6 million subs. How does it feel?
It sucks. No, it's great. We're honored, we're humbled, we're very excited, but you know what? It's also a bit scary because, I understand like why, musicians and writers freak out when they have a hit because, thankfully our success is, we have a great team, right? It's not the result of any one person. So if tomorrow I get hit by a bus or God forbid you get abducted by aliens, which is always a risk, the show will go on and we'll come up with great new videos. But that's the thing. As much as it's great that we have 6 million subs, we're a lot more focused on the future. We also announced on the day that we reached 6 million subs that we signed a deal with William Morris Endeavor, a big talent agency. So again, we've talked about future projects. It's all very exciting, but we're not patting ourselves on the back too much. We're more focused about going out, winning tomorrow, winning the championship every year, so to speak. It's all cliches, but it's absolutely true.
We're kind of a big deal. Okay. In any case, what's impressive, even more so actually, is that on What's Your Mojo episode 35, we asked when we would hit the 6 million milestone, and user Hydro Knight nailed it.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. That man or that woman deserves a prize, although I'm guessing they're a millionaire because they can guess the winning numbers of any lotto contest. Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll be sending him some kind of box. I don't know what kind of prize, maybe a Mojo box or a t-shirt or
cool.
A bag of broken glass and nails, we'll see.
Bag of glass. So I know you wanted to talk about the memorable clips of 2014 clip, but why don't we actually take a look at last year's clip, the 2013 clip?
Sure, start off.
So the number 10 entry on that one, just to give you an idea of like what we'll be doing this year, was the top 10 that made us look like sensitive prudes, which was top 10 racially offensive yet funny movie characters.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, but we definitely didn't hit the right tone because a bunch of you thought we were kind of being, holier than thou and offended when we were kind of laughing at those characters. Okay, number 9, one of the ones that I found definitely very memorable or a turning point was the video that kicked off the suggestion tool. It was published in May, and it was basically the top 10 movies where the bad guy wins, and obviously today the suggestion tool is the foundation of everything that we do.
Right. Then we had number 8, top 10 with not one but 2 glaring omissions, top 10 wrestlers.
Yeah, in that one, this was before the suggestion tool, and I think we were trying to cover both good guys and heels and different eras. So not very proud of this, but both Andre the Giant, which could have been, let's say, if we would have done it, could have just been an HM, but The Undertaker ended up missing the cut, which was really just an F-up. But, we live and learn, and that's why we rushed out the suggestion tool, basically.
Right. Then we've got top 10 that proves we occasionally mess up the footage, top 10 anime series.
Yeah, so that one was a bit scary, I guess, for anime fans because we featured Digimon when we were talking about Pokemon, and you just can't do that. And we got, pitchforks. They showed up.
Top 10s with the most gratuitous use of sex, and we have continued this into 2014. Top 10 MILFs, top 10 movie seduction scenes, top 10 movie strip teases, top 10 gratuitous nude movie scenes, top 10 girl-on-girl movie kisses, and many, many more.
That's basically my playlist. No, I'm joking. Listen, in our defense, we can only do sex clips. We don't out of 100. We may do, I won't say the number you're all thinking about. We do a couple. All right, next one.
Top 10 that got the most emotional reaction. Top 10 armies of all time.
Yeah, so again, we know that 45% of our audience is based in the US. We don't try to pander to the Americans, nor do we try to piss them off, even though we're Canadian. So to retain our passport, we have to. That was a joke. I guess the mistake there we did again, and we're candid about the mistakes or like the hindsight, how we do things differently. I think it wasn't so much that the rank pissed off people. I think, although that did, it was that we used the word armies. So people said, well, what about Genghis Khan's army? What about Alexander the Great's army? We were really looking at military and saying, well, look, the US has a horrible win and loss record, to be fair, when you look at all the battles that they've had, but they do have the biggest arsenal. And if you put up Genghis Khan, like you don't adjust for time like you adjust for inflation. If you put Genghis Khan's, men, in his army against all these nukes, who's going to win? It was kind of obvious for us, but again, how we interpret things and plan things and how it's always received is not the same thing.
Right. Top 10 that got the most dislikes. Top 10 overrated video game franchises.
Yeah, I mean, video games are obviously our most popular category, and so anything in video games is going to touch some nerves, especially when you use the big O word, overrated. It's going to shit show. All right.
Top 10 that missed the mark. Top 10 misheard lyrics.
Oh my God. So this one in planning, we were like, oh, this is going to be amazing. It's great. But what we realized early on was that there were really about 5 that were legitimately misheard. Paranoid, basically. I tell you to enjoy life versus I tell you to end your life. When Ozzy is high singing, kind of sounds the same. But then there's a few where clearly we knew they were not misheard, like REM. Let's pee in the corner instead of that's me in the corner.
Danza,
Tony Danza, exactly. And the few. So what we kind of said was there's 5 that are legitimately misheard, and then there's 5 that would be kind of funny if they were actually written as such. But we, again, missed that tone, I guess. And let's just say that could have been our April Fool's Day joke video.
Yeah, that one was weird. Top 10 that involuntarily crushed the childhood memories of our audience. Top 10 purposely annoying beloved cartoon characters.
Yeah, this might be the video that actually inspired this whole series.
Yeah.
And the reality was, again, we were not saying that these characters are horrible. We were actually just going based on, for example, SpongeBob SquarePants. His creators said we wanted a character with an annoying voice that was kind of annoying, but you ultimately ended up kind of loving him. So I won't lie, we changed the title twice, even though overwhelmingly people agreed and people liked it. We added purposely to annoying and beloved to kind of try to minimize, because we were just getting emails and emails and we were saying, listen,
Yeah, it was crazy.
we were not saying you guys are idiots at all. You are not ever idiots, but we're not saying you guys are idiots for liking these guys. We're saying, oh, look, it's funny. We like these characters even though they're kind of purposely annoying. And let's just say that video at least inspired the series.
There you go. And the number one thing on our video for 2013 was top 10 that got the most views and likes. Top 10 hilarious movie deaths.
Yeah, and that became a whole series. We've done a few another. And by the way, when we do another, it's just because I read a comment recently. When we do another top 10, it's just because, one, it was very popular, and you guys are asking for it. So instead of just closing the door on it, we say, okay, if that makes you guys happy, we're here to serve, we'll do it for sure. All right. Moving along.
So, sort of speaking of videos that are not necessarily well received, we got an email that ties into that. So Rich Dzurga starts his email. Dear Mojo, this isn't hate, this is just a question.
Usually when it starts off with this isn't to hate or I'm not trying to be a hater, there's going to be some hating going on. But go on, let's listen.
So basically, I will kind of skim the question. What do you do when you put out a list that receives a poor response from your viewers? And he is specifically referring to top 10 decade-defining musical acts of the 90s.
All right, so when this email came in, I actually went and I looked at the data, because data is somewhat objective and doesn't lie. That video got 250,000 views, and 4,000 people liked it, and just over 500 people disliked it. So the first thing that I see there is that 95% of the people watched this video and did not like or dislike. And then of those 5,000 that liked or disliked, maybe 500 to 1,000 commented. And again, the overwhelming comment theme is, this is great, love it, I disagree with this or that, but overall, pretty good job. But there's always going to be, if not handful, but dozens and dozens of people who object. And not everybody's going to like every video that we do, and there's going to be dislikes. So
You mean like DC versus Marvel?
yes, okay, well, DC versus Marvel is a versus. So versus, we kind of go into it, and we don't pick like, obviously something that is going to crush the other. We purposely pick topics that are interesting to compare, but also that will be somewhat close, knowing full well that it may upset some people. But it's not like we're crazy and are going to go out and do like, Jews versus Muslims, which is really just, which really be in bad taste.
You think?
But yeah, exactly. But DC versus Marvel is kind of like a natural thing that one thinks of. Tupac versus Biggie. A lot of other things like that. Vanilla versus chocolate ice cream. And yes, we did top 10 sandwiches, and most of you loved it. But there were those that kind of said, what the hell's happening? But the point is, that's a versus. When it comes to our top 10s, and we do repeat it, but there's so many new Mojoholics that we do need it. I don't know if it was KG or Mr. X that wrote in the comment section of the DC versus Marvel, but I do kind of agree with the point, and it was, if you're a sports fan and your sports team loses, do you burn your TV? If you don't get the girl...
A lot of people do.
A lot of people do. If you don't get the girl, do you go become a monk? If you don't get a job, do you just go jump off a mountain? No. So when you're watching a top 10 list, you're not going to agree with everything. It's impossible. You guys criticize us of being very, very subjective, even though we admit that there's an element of subjectivity once you choose a criteria, and obviously once you rank things, but there's a lot more unbiased objectivity that goes into it that I think a lot of guys give us credit for. But to answer Rich's question directly is, we kind of take a step back and go, look, overall, most people are not even liking or disliking, and very few are commenting. But the general trend is overwhelmingly people like these, but they're not perfect. So how do we keep improving on them? And not to be a smartass, we kind of just say, well, you know what? Any criticism is subjective in of itself. So it's kind of ironic that here we are being accused of being subjective when the core argument against the list is very much subjective in of itself. But that's okay. We love you. We put more focus on our audience, the Mojoholics, than forget any other YouTube channel, than any other media company in the history, I think, of media. And that might sound a bit outlandish as a comment, but I challenge you guys to tell us which other company puts the audience so much in the driver's seat. And it's fine. Criticize all you want. We read your stuff. We try to engage as much as possible.
Okay, so last thing, let's talk about the holiday schedule.
So I think we're going to do, last year we did the memorable clips of 2013. We did it January 23rd to coincide with our anniversary, but since we're bringing it back, we're going to do it at the end of the year. I think that's going to go out December 23rd.
Okay.
Aren't we going to do a bloopers too?
Yeah, bloopers. Great.
But Dan, you and Dan never make mistakes.
No,
so
it's really short clip. There's
CGI.
there's
It's all
no
CGI.
swearing at all. We've also got a lot of Christmas-themed content. I think it's all coming out next week. So Christmas songs, Christmas shows, Christmas movies, Christmas Santas. You'll love it. It's great.
And we are going to go down from 4 clips to 3 clips, just because we know some of you guys are traveling, you're eating a lot of turkey, you're drinking more than usual. No comments there. So the point is, we'll do 3 each day, so you guys don't have to fall behind too much. And What's Your Mojo and WatchMojo.FAQ, we're going to take a break. You guys gave us a lot of feedback on how to possibly rejig the shows. Most of you seem to say keep it as is, which was great to hear. So we won't be back till the new year, but we'll be reading emails, we'll be scanning the comment section, and we'll be regularly updating with at least 3 clips each day. So
yes.
you won't miss us.
So happy holidays and see you in the new year.